Hello, welcome to Sigma Tech Consult Limited. Okay, today we'll learn something in mathematics. We'll learn algebraic expressions and processes. Okay, these are some of the objectives that we'll intend to achieve by the end of this lesson. Okay, so by the end of this lesson, I expect that you should be able to explain what algebraic expression and process is. Okay, I expect that you should be able to define and identify some terms associated with algebraic expressions, and we also expect that you solve problems on algebraic expressions and processes. So first, what is algebraic? Algebraic is derived from the word algebra, and algebra is the part of mathematics that deals with letters, symbols that represent numbers, but their values are not given. They represent a particular value, but the values are not given. I know you must have seen some mathematical expressions where you have such kind of things. Like, let's take, for instance, you must have seen a mathematical expression like this. It's a 5x plus 3, for example. Or you have seen something like 2x. Okay? You must have seen something like PQ. All right? All these things are algebraic expressions. Okay? They are algebra. All right? So the idea of this is that this letter or these letters, this alphabet, they represent something. They represent a value that we do not know. Okay? And sometimes in mathematics, one of the reasons why we solve equations is to identify the value, or to solve for, or to find the value of those algebraic expressions or terms that we have in a particular mathematical equation. Do you understand the point? Okay, so these expressions or these items we have here, these terms we have here, okay, there are specific names that they have. For instance, let's look at the first thing I wrote there. Let's look at the 5x plus 3. Okay, this 5x plus 3. You can see that there is something here, and there is something here. Now, the first thing we have here is 5. This 5 is called a coefficient. I'll tell you why. This x is a variable. Some people call it an unknown. Okay? Why this 3 here is called a constant. Are you with me? So, this is called a coefficient, this a variable, and this a constant. Now, this 3 is a term. This is also a term. Like this 5x is also a term. So a term together, okay, is what we call expressions. So when we have a term and another term and all that, okay, when we have this algebra occurring together, that is expression of them. So that is why we call this kind of things algebraic expressions. Do you understand the point now? Algebraic expressions, they don't have equal to. Okay, so you will not have like 5x plus 3 equals to 4. Once you have this kind of thing, it is no longer algebraic expression. It is now a linear equation. If you have 5x plus 3 equals to 4, this is no longer algebraic expression. This is now a linear equation. Algebraic expression, there is no introduction of equal sign. Do you understand the point? Okay, so the point we made here first is that 5 here is called the coefficient. What is a coefficient? Coefficient is a number or a value or a number or whatsoever that is at the back or that is before a variable or a value that is multiplying a variable. Now look at this 5x. I'm bringing this out here. 5x. Hope you can see it clearly there. Good. 5x. This 5x, there is a relationship between this 5 and x. That relationship is something that is connecting them that is invisible. That is multiplication. There's a multiplication sign here. This 5x is equal to 5 times x. You know, 5 times x is equal to 5x. Okay? So a coefficient is any number or any value that is multiplying a variable. Or in a layman way, a layman understanding is any number that is at the back of a variable. Do you understand me now? Okay, so if you have understood that, the next thing we need to know is the variable. The variable in algebraic expression is a symbol, a letter, whatsoever, that represents a value that is not given. The value is there, but it is not given in the expression. Like this x that we have here is a variable. This x can be anything. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 20, it can be 30, 50, 100, anything. It can be anything. Do you understand the point? Why? For this one, which we call constant, constant is a value that is known, is a known value, okay, that stands on its own and it is known. Remember, why this 5 is not a constant is because it is attached to an unknown. So because it is attached to an unknown, it is a coefficient. Constants are usually alone without any variable with them. Do you understand that now? So we'll be while we solve, we'll be making use of these terms. Coefficient, they will ask us to find coefficient, so you need to know how to identify coefficient. They will ask us to identify constants and all that. Do you understand the point? Okay, so these are the things, these are the terms you need to really understand about algebraic expression. You need to know what a coefficient is, which you have known. Remember, the coefficient is the number at the back of a variable. Why a variable is an unknown value, okay, that is presented to us as a symbol or a letter or anything like a sign, okay? Why a constant is a known figure, a known value, all right? Okay, so let's look at, we will have to go to we have quite a lot of problems to solve using the Examguide app, Examguide learning app. So we're going to go to that and then look at some of the things we have as questions that are related to, okay, that we have as questions that are related to algebraic expression. So let's see. Okay. Now look at this one. They say we should find, so let's look at number 1. Find the coefficient, okay, you have it on the screen there. Find the coefficient of x in the expression. The expression is open bracket, this is the expression, open bracket 2x minus 3, close the bracket, then open bracket x plus 4. That is the question. So they said we should find the coefficient of x in this expression. Now, if you look at this expression, you have x here and you have x here. X has a coefficient here, x has a coefficient here, but they're asking us to find the coefficient of x in this whole thing this one and this one, these two brackets, they are expression. Remember what I told you about an expression, okay? Combination of terms, okay? This is a term here, this is a term, this is a term, this is another term. So they make up what we call expressions. So they're asking us to find the coefficient of this expression. What we need to do is to expound this expression or to simplify it. Once we simplify it, then we can now find the value of x, because at that point, x we all have to go to where we have x. Do you understand the point now? So this will be, this will multiply this and also multiply this. Then this will also multiply this and also multiply this. This is how to multiply in brackets, okay? So this will be equal to 2x times x will be 2x squared. Look at it. Then we'll have 2x times plus 4 to be what? Plus 8x. Because 4 times 2, that is 2 times 4 is 8. Then x times nothing is this x here. X times 1 is still this x. Okay? Then we go to this one. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x. Then minus 3 times plus 4 is minus 12. Are you with me? So this is equal to 2x squared. 8 minus 3 is plus 5x minus 12. Now, at this point, we cannot simplify this expression further, because here the value of the variable of x here is x squared. This is the variable here, x squared. Here the variable is x. Here is the constant. Okay? Now, someone may say that, okay, what is the coefficient of x? At this point, x squared is not x. It's not the same thing as x. Remember, they asked us coefficient of x and not the coefficient of x squared. X squared is different from x. X squared is different from x. So this is not our concern. So our concern is this x that we have here. What is the coefficient? Of course, the coefficient is 5. So we say, therefore, it's just like what we have here. Okay? So coefficient of x is equal to 5. That is the coefficient of x. So option C is our correct option there. So let's see if we can see more coefficient question. This is not what we're dealing with. Okay, so this question says that we should find the sum of the coefficient of x in 3x plus 1 minus 2x plus 6. So let's look at that. Okay, now look at this. The question says that we should find the sum of the coefficients. Now, find the sum of the coefficient of x. Find the sum of the coefficient of x in the expression 3x plus this and what is it called again? 3x plus 1 minus 2x plus 6. Okay? So they're asking us to find the sum of the coefficients of x. Here, the coefficient of x here and the coefficient of x here, they want us to find their sum. That's what they want us to do. So we have here 3x and we have here minus 2x. Remember, because there is a negative sign at the back of this two, it goes with it. Excuse me. Okay? So this is minus, this is 3x. Of course, we know the coefficient is this 3. So 3 plus the coefficient of minus 2x is minus 2. So this is minus 2. So this will be 3 plus times minus is minus 2, which is equal to 1. So the answer is C, 1. How? We can also do it in this way. 3x plus 1 minus 2x plus 6. So we can decide to just simplify this equation, this expression. Okay, so this is 3x. We just simplify by grouping. Minus 2x has a factor of a term that is common with this 3x here too. This term, x and x here, they are common. So we bring this minus here, minus 2x. So this is plus 1 plus 6. Is that okay? So 3x minus 2x will give us x plus this is what? 7. So they're asking us, now we have actually added, do you get? We have added the coefficient of this together. Now the coefficient of x is 1. Any letter without any number at the back, okay, just know that it has an invisible coefficient which is 1. Okay, 1 as a coefficient in mathematics is not written. Do you understand me? Because once a letter is on its own, let's say A, there is an invisible one, 1A. We have X, there's an invisible 1X there. Do you understand the point? So here, the coefficient here is 1. So we say, therefore, coefficient is equal to 1. So that is just what we did here by adding this and getting the coefficient. Okay. So let's look at the next thing we have here. This says we should simplify this an algebraic expression. So let's simplify this. We're asked to simplify 1 over 2x 1 over 2x plus 1 over 3x. 1 over 3x. All right? So this is a fraction, but this is an algebraic fraction. Algebraic fraction. Why is it algebraic fraction? Because there is a letter, there is an alphabet in some of the terms that we have there. Do you understand the point? Any mathematical expression where there is an alphabet, just know that it's an algebraic expression. Do you understand? Now, they say we should add this fraction and this fraction. If you have been following our channel, we have dealt very well on how to solve fractions. Okay, how to add fractions together. And now we have these are fractions with unlike denominator. So what do we do first? We look for the coefficient of the denominators, the coefficient, the LCM of the denominators. Okay, the LCM of the denominators first. That's the first thing we do. Now, how do we find LCM of? We can find LCM of algebraic expressions also. So this is 2x, and this is 3x. All right. So from LCM, x is common here, so this can be x here. This will now be 2. This will now be 3. Okay, do you get that? Then for this particular one, 2 here, this will now be 1. This will now be 3. 3 here. This will be 1, and this will be 1. So this will be 6x. That is 2 times 3, 6 times x, 6x. So here we have 6x. 6x as the coefficient. Did you understand the point now? All right. So what do? You divide this their LCM by the denominator of each of the fraction. The answer you multiply it with the numerator. So let's start with this. 6x divided by 2x. This is it. 6x. This is it. 6x divided by 2x. Is that okay? X divides x, it will be 1, right? 2 into 2 is 1. 2 into 6 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Here is 1 times 1 is 1. So 3 divided by 1 is still what? 3. So here is 3 times 1 is 3. Plus here divide this place is 2. How? 6x over 3x. This removes this, right? 3 here is 1, 3 here is 2. So this is 2 times 1 is 2. Okay? So this will now be 3 plus 2 is 5 against 6x. Okay? So that we have been able to simplify that particular expression. Okay? So the answer is 5 over 6x, which is option D here. Okay? Let's see if we have some other expressions. Okay, let's look at these. Find the value of x if this is this and okay, let's just solve this. It's an equation. Remember I said once an algebraic expression has an equal sign, it becomes an equation. Okay, so we are asked to find the value of x. Now, just to tell you that these variables we talked about, the variables, right? I said they represent a number. So let's solve this question and see how those variables can, or what the real value of those variables are. We'll get the real value, then we'll substitute the real value into the expression or into the equation and see if, when we substitute there, if it will mean what it is equaling to at the right-hand side. So let's look at that. Okay, so let's look at a simple solution to that. So 2x minus 2 is equal to 12. So the first thing we do is to open this bracket up, multiply 2 by everything we have inside the bracket. So this will be 2 times x. This is 2x minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. Remember, our emphasis, our attention is to know this variable, what is it? What is that number that this variable is representing? Okay? So this is equal to 12. All right? So the next thing we do is to take like terms. All right? So we move this to this side of the equation. So when we move that, what will be left in this side of the equation now will now be 2x to be equal to 12. When we move with the sign. But once it passes this bridge, this equal sign, the sign that what we are moving has, we change to the opposite sign. So this is negative sign will change to positive sign. So this will now be plus what? Plus 4 instead of minus 4, because it crossed this bridge and it must have to change its sign. All right? So 2x will now be equal to 12 plus 4 gives us 16. So to find the value of x, we divide both sides. By the coefficient of x. What is our coefficient of x there? 2. So that means we will divide 2x all over 2 and 16 all over what? 2. They say we should divide both sides, this side and this side, by the coefficient of 2 of x, which is 2. So 2 here, we cancel off or we go off, and we'll have x to be equal to 2 here is 1, 2 in 16 is 8. So x is equal to 8. So what it means is that our value of x is equal to 8. Do you understand? So if you look at your options, the option E is the correct option. Now let's see if it is correct. This will be correct. We are saying that this x here means 8. So let's put it here and see if it will mean 12, if it will be equal to 12. So if we put 2 into 8, where we have x now, since we say x is 12, is 8, we replace it with 8. So 2, open bracket 8 minus 2, will it be equal to 12? Let's see if it will be equal to 12. What will it be equal to? So, you know, from our board mass, we do what we have inside the bracket first. So it means 2 will now be equal to, will now be open bracket, 8 minus 2 is 6, right? Equal to. So 2 times 6 is equal to 12. So We are correct. So that means that this x was actually representing 8, and it was not even telling us that it's there to represent 8 until we solve it. We know what it's representing. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's look at a word problem. Let's look at a word problem that is associated to maybe algebra, because there is a letter representing a value, a number that was not given. So let's look at, because algebraic expressions can also come in form of word problems. We can have some word problems that are leading to algebraic expressions. So when such word problem comes, you should be able to know how to interpret it and solve it as an equation. Okay. This question says a pair of trousers cost 1,600. A pair of trousers. Now look at it. A pair of trousers. 1,600 naira. That is for trousers. 1,600. And a pair of shoes cost Q naira. A pair of shoes. They say it cost Q naira. Q naira. Now the question is, if the two costs, that is a pair of trouser and a pair of shoe, if the two cost 2,800 naira, what is the cost of the pair of shoes? So they're asking us, look at what they're asking us, if in what problem, once you know how to interpret what the problem is talking about, the solution is just at your fingertip. Okay? They are saying that this pair of trousers plus this pair of shoes, that together, when you add this cost of this and cost of it, that together they are how much? 2,800. So what is our cost of trouser? 1,600. So 1,600 naira plus Q what? Q naira for shoes. They say is equals to 2,800 naira. So they're asking us, what is the cost of the pair of shoes, which is Q? So they're asking us the value of Q. That is simply what they're asking us. So it's simple. So if you can permit me, let me remove this naira. Okay, we'll put it back when we get the answer. Okay. So this is 1,600 plus Q is equal to 2,800. How do we do this? Take like term. This should come here because it is not in like term with Q, so that Q can be alone. So Q here is now equal to 2,800 minus 1,600. Is that okay? So you do 2,800, 1,600, 0 here is 0, 0 here is 0. We are subtracting. Then 8 to 6 is 2. 2 and 1, this is 1. Is that okay? So have 1,200. It means that Q is equal to 1,200. Okay? That means that cost of shoes, that is a pair of shoes, is equal to what? 1,200 naira. Since it was given that the cost of a pair of shoes is Q naira. So Q is 1,2. So 1,2 is the answer, which is option A. Okay? Okay, let's see if we have some other thing that is of concern. Okay, in algebra also, we can have those variables. We have their quantities, okay, given, and they expect us to substitute them in the term or in the expression that we are given. So let's look at this question. They said find the value of 3c over b minus a. They said, find the value of this expression now. If we assume that A equal to 8, they say if A is equal to 8, then B is equal to 3, and C equal to 9. C equal to what? 9. They're asking us to find the value of this expression. 3C all over B minus A. Remember, this is an algebraic expression, an algebraic process. Do you understand the point? All right, so what it simply means is where we have A, we substitute it for 8. Where we have B, we put 3 in place of it. Where we have C, we put 9 in place of it. So let's go. So this is 3C all over B minus A to be equal to 3C. Are we going to just put 9 there? No. Remember, why we have to put this 3C is because that C is not a value. But since 9 is a value, remember I said there is a relationship that this coefficient has with its variable. A coefficient has a relationship with its variable. That relationship is multiplication. So once it's time to substitute, remember that relationship. That relationship is what? Multiplication. So then what is now, after this multiplication that have the relationship with them, we have C. The C now is 9. Are you with me? All over B. Our B is 3. Okay? Minus, what is our A? Our A is 8. I've told you, just because this is a fraction, we can also make this a fraction by adding over 1. Remember, all natural occurring number, they have an invisible denominator, which is 1. Okay? All right. So with this, we can now solve. 3 can divide 3 here. Do you understand me? Okay. Then we now have equal to 9, because 3 into itself is 1. 3 into 3 here is 1. Okay. So what we are having now is 1 times 9. This 1 times 9 divided by what is left here now is 1 is equal to 8 all over 1. Minus 8 all over 1 rather. Do you understand? The next thing we have to do is 1 times 9, of course you know, is 9 all over 1 minus 8 all over 1. Remember, if we have the same denominator in addition and subtraction of fraction, if their denominators are the same, just add or subtract their numerators. So this will be 9 minus 8, which is equal to 1 all over 1. 1 divided 1 is what? 1. So the answer of that question is 1, which is option D. All right? So let's look at if we have any other thing that we have not done. Find the sum of the coefficient. We've done sum of coefficient before. So I want you to try this out. Find the sum of the coefficient of x in 5x plus 8 minus 7x plus 9. So you do it, okay, and put your answer on the comment section. I would like to see your answers, please. All right? Since we have done this before, if you are confused, you can just take the video back. You'll see how we explain this. All right. The next one, let's see. Okay, I think we can also solve this. Let's solve this since it's also algebraic linear equation. Okay, let's see, and they are all in fraction form. So let's see. That is interesting. Let's look at that particular one. 7 r. The question says r over 2. R over 2 is equal to 1 over 2 plus 2r over 5. Okay, so let's look at the solution of this. So this is an equation, but we must simplify this fraction first. This is one fraction adding to another fraction. So let's simplify it first. So we can start by r over 2 should be here. You should just wait for us here while we deal with this. So this is 1 over 2 plus 2r over 5. So the first thing we do, since these two fractions have different coefficients, we find different denominator. We find the LCM of the denominator first. Do you understand? So this the LCM of this denominator is, remember, in one of our videos on fractions, so you can just go look out for those videos on fractions, we said that if you have denominators that are different and don't have common factors, to find their LCM, just multiply the two. 2 and 5, they don't have common factors. No need of start doing LCM, you draw line, no. Since they don't have common factor, just multiply the two. So it means that LCM of 2 and 5 is 10. Okay, so what do we do at this point? What we do is 5 divided 10 is 2. 2 times 2r is 4r. Then we come down here. 2 divided 10 is 5. 5 times 1 is still 5. So it means that r over 2 is now equal to this. Do you understand? So okay, so we have r over 2 is equal to 5 plus 4r all over 10. So at this point, we have one fraction on the left-hand side and another fraction on the right-hand side. Are you with me? But here, we have one fraction on the left-hand side, 2 fractions on the left-hand side. Why this is one fraction is because all of this now is a fraction. It's just one unit fraction. Do you understand the point? All right. So at this point, once you see 2 fractions, one at one side of the equation, another at the other side of the equation, 2 fractions, the mathematical principle to apply there is cross multiplication. You cross multiply. So the denominator of this multiplies the numerator of this side. The denominator of this side multiplies the numerator of this side of the fraction. So this is how I will go. I will go this way and this way. You can also decide to go either this way and this way. Okay, but this is how I want to go. I want to cross multiply like this. So this will mean 10 times r to give us 10r to be equal to 2. Now, these 2 now will multiply 5 plus 4r. That is what it means. Okay, let's even have it as this one will multiply 10 multiply r to give us 10r. Then here will give us 2 times 5 is 10 plus 2 times 4r, 8r. Are you with me now? Okay, so this means, let's take like terms. Let 8r go to where r term is. So this 8r go to 10r. So we have 10r. If 8r moves and passes its equation sign, this plus will change to minus because it must change its symbol to the opposite one. All right, so this is now minus 8r to be equal to 10. 10 is now left alone here. This 10 is left alone here. So this will now be what? 10r minus 10 minus 8r to be 2r to be equal to 10. So divide both sides by the coefficient of r. The coefficient of r here is 2. So this is over 2 and this is over 2. This divide this, if it will be 1, 1 times r is r. So r is equal to 2 here is 1, 2 here is 5. 5 divided by 1 is still what? 5. So r is equal to what? 5. So the option here is option B. That is the correct option. All right. Okay, so this is so this is the substitution that we just did. They say we should find the value of p when t is equal to 1. So it's just the normal thing. Just do your fraction, okay, let's quickly do that. Let's see. Okay, they say we should find p when t is equal to 1. So when t is equal to 1. So what do? They're asking us to find this p, all right, when t is equal to 1. So it's just to substitute the value of this one to anywhere you have t, put 1 there. So this is solution. P is equal to 2 all over 3. Remember, there is a relationship that exists between a coefficient and a variable, which is multiplication. So this is times, okay, this t is what? 1, then minus 1. So let's just put this one in brackets to separate it from this minus 1. Then here is plus 1 into 3 times t, they say is 1, minus 2. Is that okay? So our p will now be equal to 2 into 3 times 1 is 3. So this is 3 minus 1 plus 1 into 3 times 1 is 3 minus 2. So this is 3 minus 2. Okay? So our p here, our p will now be equals to 2 into 3 minus 1 is 2. Do you get that? 3 minus 1 is 2. Then plus 1 into 3 minus 2 is 1. You see the thing? So p will now be equal to 2 divided by 2 is 1 plus 1 divided by 1 is 1. It means that p will be equal to 1 plus 1 to be 2. So that is what the value of our p is, which is option D. Okay, so with this, you can actually go through your Examguide learning app, look out for questions around algebraic expression. Just we have solved quite a lot of them here. I think there are about 5 or 6 of them or 7 that you may just need to go, which are similar to what we have solved. Okay, take them, solve them, and then get yourself mastered in this particular topic in mathematics. Thank you very much. Until I come to your way next time. Thank you.